Most people think that the key to selling an online course is building the perfect product. And that used to be true, but not anymore. AI changed everything because anyone can spin up a 10-module course in about 10 minutes using AI. And that means that the online course space is flooded with soulless AI garbage. So if you want your course to actually sell in 2025 and 2026, you have to do things differently. And that is, you have to bring one element back into the equation, and that is the human element. A few years ago, you could launch a solo course and crush it, but the game has changed. People don't really care or want information. They need transformation. They don't want another faceless system. They want to feel seen. So the new way to sell online courses is not about scaling and passivity. It's about connection. So what all this means is that now when you combine your course with community, access, and accountability, you are going to set yourself apart, and your offer is going to be way more attractive to most people. And it's going to stand out in a sea of crap. And as a result, it will not just be another offer, it will be a results machine that people will love, people will finish, and they will rave about. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to not just build that, but to sell that. How do you market your online course? And put more specifically, how do you build an offer around your online course and sell that in a very effective way? How do you market that? That's what we're going to get into. There is so much to say in this video. I can't wait to get started. My name is Lane. This is my channel. I love to help people just like you start and grow passive income style online businesses that are freedom focused and set you free from your 9-to-5 so that you can do the things you love in life. And that might include building and selling an online course, which, as I've said, is a little more difficult now than it's ever been. But I'm going to help you stand out. I'm going to help your course become the one that people want to buy. And I'm going to help you build an offer around it that just obliterates everybody else in your space. Not that anybody needs to be obliterated, obviously. I don't really believe in having competitors. I have collaborators, but you get the idea. If you get something out of this video, if you like it, then actually hit the button and like it and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Okay, so let's start with the 4 things that you have to do differently now in order to market and sell your online course in this new landscape. Number 1, you have to build your audience first. Now, I will say this has actually always been the case. You've never really had much success just building an online course and sending it out into the ether if you don't have an audience. So this isn't necessarily changed, but this is even more important than it's ever been. Like building trust with an audience through content, like having an audience that knows you and likes you and trusts you and sees you as the one who solves their problem, the problem that's related to your niche. When you build an audience and you have that kind of trust, it is like ground zero. You can't sell transformation to people who don't know you exist, because they don't know that you offer the kind of transformation that they want. The only way they're going to know that is if you have the content that reinforces to them you're the person that can solve their problem. So start with content that helps real humans solve real problems. That's how you earn trust before the sale. Now, when it comes to content, I've mentioned this a lot, your content needs to be bridge content, not dead end. Really quickly, dead end content is content that leads to nowhere. It's just content for the sake of content. Don't do that. The problem with that is that you need to give a clear call to action in your content. And this is especially true with long form content like YouTube videos, normal YouTube videos. In other words, not shorts, not reels, not TikToks, like the normal videos, like probably what you're watching now. In that content, bridge that to another call to action. In a lot of cases, that needs to be your lead magnet, the thing that takes them from your content to your email list. Because if we're going to market your course, we need to move them to the next step. And that's a subtle and easy way to get them from just being a viewer to being a subscriber to your email list. They're taking a step with you. Your lead magnet needs to be a free, helpful resource or low-cost, helpful resource that helps them solve a quick win, helps them get a quick win, solving a quick problem, and it has a compelling promise. In other words, it's something that when they hear about it, they want. By the way, these kinds of steps that I'm talking about, from content to your lead magnet, I lay these out in my super simple guide to starting a thriving online business. If you don't have that yet, go to lanesebring.com/super-simple. You can get mine for free. lanesebring.com/super-simple. It's free. It's on demand. You can read it right now and get all of the steps that I use to build what is now a $25,000 per month online business. So go pick that up if you haven't yet. It's a perfect complement to this video. Number two, design a course that solves one clear problem. Okay, so no 50-hour mega courses. That is a thing of the past. No one has time for that. And because information is so ubiquitous now with AI, it's not a matter of people just needing all the steps or needing all the information. And your course is going to be the one-stop shop where they get all the information. They have the information. They can get the information. What they need is the quickest, most direct, clear path from where they're stuck to where they're trying to get. I call this escape arrival. I got this from someone else. I think his name was Miles Beckler. This was years ago, but I've used this for so long. Sometimes I forget to cite him. Anyway, where they're stuck to where they need to go, and what are the milestones along the way that gives them the most direct, clear path to get from here to here. So think of that in terms of one instance, one place they're stuck, and one desired outcome, one place they want to arrive, and get them there quickly, and show how your course does that. But first, you got to build the course that does that. So people don't want to know everything that you know. They want one result, and they want it fast. And again, if we're talking about how to set yourself apart from AI, this is a huge one, because anytime you're digging into a tool like ChatGPT, a large language model, which I use every day, all day. I love ChatGPT. We're going to get into that in a second. But what it does is it is built to keep giving you more. So you ask a question, it answers the question, and it says, do you want me to solve this other thing for you? And you say, yeah. And then it answers that. And then it says, okay, we've done this. Do you want me to build you a system? Yeah. Do you want me to build you a Notion doc? Yeah. Do you want me to build a Google doc? Yes. And so by the end of all these steps, you have so much more than you can actually handle. You have more steps than you're actually going to do. It is unbelievably overwhelming, but that's its job. Here's the benefit to you. If you're a course creator, you can pierce through all of that with, I've done it, and here's the path. Here is the simplest, quickest path for overwhelmed, busy people. My business mentor, one of them, Graham Cochran, he says that where there is overwhelm, there is opportunity. Where there is overwhelm, there is opportunity. And I think people right now are incredibly overwhelmed with how much information is out there. This used to be just like a Google thing, right? People, oh, you can Google anything. People would say, oh, why would they get a course? They can just Google it. People still bought courses. Now what I've heard people say, and I've even thought this, like, well, why would somebody buy a course? They can just get on ChatGPT and they can ChatGPT it. Here's the problem with that. It's never going to have the human experience that you have. And this is why we start with number one, build an audience first. Because the people who are watching you and learning from you and trusting you want to do what you've done. They don't necessarily need to just know everything that you know, but they want to do what you've done. AI can never replicate that because they're taking like all human knowledge and they're just compiling it and they're making it as stackable and as complicated as possible. And it can be incredibly helpful, don't get me wrong. And there might be people who can act on it and take action on what they're given. But you have a distinct, clear advantage to build an audience that knows you, likes you, trusts you because you're solving their problem, and then point to a product that you've made that solves it fast and quick, and it gets results and delivers exactly what they need to get from here to here, from where they're stuck to where they want to go in the quickest possible path. All of that's there. AI is never going to have the ability to do that in the way that you can with your audience. So stop thinking about this as like, I've got to compete with AI. You're not going to compete with AI. AI knows more than you. AI knows more than me. But it does not and cannot replace your experience, and it does not and cannot replace your influence with the people who know you, like you, and trust you, your audience. So start with the content, build it, and then build a product, a course that solves one problem as fast and as quick and as direct as you can. All right, number 3, add a layer of humanity. This is where you have a chance to add that human touch that you can't get anywhere else. So the easiest, simplest, like cheating kind of way to do this is, at a minimum, open up comments on every lesson and encourage people to comment and then respond to those comments. And the way this looks is, as they're taking the course, they're going to have questions, they're going to have comments, they're going to want clarity. And if they know that they can comment below the lesson and you're going to respond, other people that are taking the course are going to see it and maybe they can respond, then it feels a little bit more human. If you want to take that to the next level, you can add a community element to the course itself. So you can build out a community and give people who buy the course access to the community. One way to do this and do it well is, if the community is an ongoing subscription, you could give somebody a 30-day free trial to the community if they buy the course, so that when they buy the course, they're in the community, and if they like it, they can continue to be there. If they don't want to stay, then it kind of helps them have a deadline on completing the course. It's like, hey, you're only in the community for 30 days, so you need to get moving on this course so that you can discuss what you're learning inside the community. Another way is to add a Ask Me Anything kind of live Q&A portion periodically or once a month to the course for the course members, so that you can be interacting with them. You can get creative with this, but however you do it, adding that human touch is another way that you can separate yourself from AI. Now, number 4 is use AI the smart way. Don't let AI replace you, okay? Because only you, it can never replace your voice. AI can't replace your empathy, your tone, your story. And all of that is exactly what your audience buys when they buy your course. So if you don't let it do that, then what do you use AI for? Let AI help you write, edit, automate, and serve your audience at scale. Here's the way I like to do that. And I've talked about this. I have some videos about the way I use ChatGPT. If you want to get into this a little bit more deeply, I have a video about how to use ChatGPT for writing your YouTube scripts. And the same things that I teach in there would apply to this. Basically, it comes down to your prompts. You want to give ChatGPT exactly what you want in your lessons. Don't ask it to give it to you. Because if you ask ChatGPT to give to you what to teach, it'll do it. It'll tell you, we'll teach this, this, and this. But again, that's removing your experience from the equation. Give it the prompt. Say like, I want to do a lesson on this, this, and this, where I cover this, this, and this. Help me organize that. Help me put this into a flow. And it will do that very well. And that still preserves you as the content creator. It preserves your voice, and then it helps you speed up the process. Again, we're not using AI to replace ourselves. We're using AI to speed up what we're doing. We're using AI not to outsource our thinking, but to optimize our thinking. So think of it in terms of an optimization tool, as a multiplier of your efforts, and as something that speeds up what you would take a long time to do. There's no reason to let this take longer than it needs to take. And that's where AI comes in. It helps speed up this process, and it makes it awesome. That's kind of the framework of like the 4 things that just need to be there. That's like the bare minimum. I want to talk in terms of some ways to look at how to market your course. First, let's look at this big question of why courses fail. Because for all the courses that are out there, there's probably a small percentage that actually do like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. So what makes the difference? Most course creators do this backwards. They build the course first, then they scramble to find an audience, which is why very first thing we said was build an audience. And you do that through content. You do that through content that solves a problem and bridges to your email list. All that needs to be there. They launch and no one buys. Well, why does no one buy? Because there isn't an audience, okay? So there has to be an audience, and that audience has to know you, like you, and trust you, and that starts with content. But no one buys not because the course is bad, but because no one knows, likes, or trusts you yet, okay? So your course doesn't need more features. It needs more followers who believe in you. This is the thing. When I work with people, and I've done hundreds of thousands of dollars in course sales, and I've helped other course creators launch their courses as well. And what I've seen is the people who do well versus the people who struggle, it really comes down almost entirely to the trust they've built with their audience and the rate at which their audience is growing. The faster your audience is growing, in other words, you're getting more leads coming in, they're targeted because your content is on point and it's directed exactly at who you need and want to be in your course, the more success you're going to have. So your content needs to be laser focused on the people you're trying to reach, and you need to be working to grow your audience over time. And at the same time that that's happening, you're learning exactly what needs to be in the course, because the best way to market the course is to have a course that's marketable. And to have a course that's marketable, you have to know what the market wants. And in these niche businesses, your market is so specific to you that if you don't know and understand what they want exactly, then you're going to fail. You're going to miss something. So courses fail for this exact reason. There's no audience, there's no growing audience. And as a result, there's no need or no perceived need for what you offer. So by building an audience and growing it, you will be far beyond other people in this space. Now, the marketing secret. Marketing your course doesn't start when you launch. Okay. A lot of people think that they can go and like build their course in secret. It's like, we're going to go build this course and it's just going to be the best thing. And I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm building it. I'm not going to tell anybody that's coming. I'm just going to build something that's amazing and I'm going to launch it to the world and they're all going to love it. And the problem with that is that's not the way it works. You have to build some anticipation. It starts the day you publish your very first piece of content. Every video, every post, every email is a breadcrumb leading people toward the solution that your course provides. This is why the more targeted your content and the more focused your content is on the exact person whose problem you're trying to solve, the better, because that allows you then to have all of your content be pointing to, this is the solution you need. Here's how it's done. Here's how I'm providing it. And then when your course comes out, you're like, if you want the ultimate solution, the quickest transformation, the most clear, direct path, buy my course. It's like magic. It's just all roads lead to this offer. What you want to happen is that by the time you get that course up and launched, your audience is saying, finally, this is what I've been waiting for. And they're excited to buy it. That's the most ideal solution across the board. Now, another side of this is control and ownership. You want to completely control everything about your course, especially the price, the positioning. And so there are course platforms out there like Udemy, for example, where you don't control the price. It's a marketplace where people get on and they can buy your course for whatever Udemy sets the price. Don't do that. Use a real proper course platform. The one I recommend is Kajabi. You can get a free 30-day trial of Kajabi, lanesebring.com/Kajabi. Again, 30-day free trial, plus you get 3 exclusive bonuses. You get my 25K course launch email template, which will help you get started launching your course. You get my Kajabi Accelerator course, which will help you get the best possible start on the platform. And you get my exclusive masterclass where I show you the 3 mistakes to avoid if you're jumping onto Kajabi. And this is based off of 400 one-on-one calls that I did with people that I recommended to Kajabi and who took me up on it. And I met with them one-on-one and I learned like these mistakes lead to failure and these successes lead to success. So lanesebring.com/Kajabi, get on there and build your course the right way. And by the way, this isn't just a course platform. This is like everything. It's email marketing, it's your website, it's your sales funnel, payment processor, everything. It's all there, lanesebring.com/Kajabi. Now, we're entering a new era in the world of online courses. The AI explosion means that information is free, but connection is priceless. Let me say, I used to be a pastor, and now this is one of those where I'd say, let me say that again. Information is free. Connection is priceless. People don't need or want more information. They want connection and they want transformation. They want a clear, direct, quick, fastest path. And if you combine that with the human element and connection, it is like pouring gasoline on a fire. So the good news is, if you're a real human being, and you have a desire to actually help people, this is your time to shine. Because there's going to be plenty of marketers out there who just throw together some AI slop that has no human touch at all, and they're just trying to make a quick buck. Don't be that, because that's going to not work. And you don't want to be that. Like, don't be like that. Be the person who's a real, genuine human, really wants to help people, and builds an audience who trusts what you're doing, and point them to a solution, an offer that includes a course, some human touches and elements, you will win. Your authenticity is the new unfair advantage. So again, if you want to learn how to do all this step by step, it's lanesebring.com/super simple. That's my free guide. And I want to point you to this video, which will show you exactly how to write copy once you've built your course and you have a landing page where people are reading about your course and deciding if they can buy it. This video will show you the exact 12 steps to make sure that you have great sales copy and the course sells like hotcakes, I guess. See you in this video.